to the bottom of the bottle. I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in bed, I probably went and pissed it away. I ain't fucking okay, I ain't liking it, babe. I don't even wanna talk, I'm just smoking my haze. I've been stuck in my ways, I've been stuck here for days. I've been staring at the clock as the radio plays. I'm enslaved. Yeah. Rolling another, I'm stuck in my seat with the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole damn week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million motherfuckers that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family, from a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down to make new thoughts, like jumping off of that rooftop. Whole life never when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. I see the sun coming out of that rain. My day really not tame. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage, it's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. Slave for you. Ripping hard, I'm all less. Never stop, no rest. Till the stress is breath in my chest. Till diamonds wrapping my neck. Progress to a god from a goddamn mess. Hopeless, more tests. More blessed. Dug deep down, trying to find my best. Find a beast, had to kill a conquest. I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Whole life never when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, it's gone. Steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. I see the sun coming out of that rain. My day really not tame. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage, it's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you.
Tommy, with Tommy Nation Politics. Happy Tommy Nation Tuesday, everyone. Glad you're with me. This is a story of American polarization. This is a story of the social upheavals, the 1960s, meeting the American propagation of propaganda and corruption of the present. It's a story, a tale as old as time, a song as old as rhyme, if you will. But if you sit back, relax, enjoy, because the show has just begun. Hopefully we got some guests on soon, but let me get you up to speed on what we're going to be talking about today. Previously on Tommy Nation Politics.
Free thinking, innovative, and totally open.
Following through on his threats, Donald Trump vetoed a $740 billion annual defense policy bill, which had passed both houses of Congress with a bipartisan majority. The move sparked stern condemnation in Washington, with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi calling it an act of staggering recklessness.
An act of staggering recklessness.
While Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell openly urged lawmakers to bypass Trump's veto. The House and the Senate are set to meet on Monday and Tuesday respectively, and are widely expected to garner the two-thirds majority needed to override the president. On Tuesday, he unexpectedly threatened to reject a $900 billion COVID-19 relief package, potentially delaying crucial financial aid for millions of Americans.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today?
Tommy Nation Politics.
Political corruption in the rest of the world. Here in the U.S., it's as old as the country itself. CCTV's Nathan King reports.
The founding fathers of the United States, prominent statesmen of the American Revolution, tried to create a government that would put checks and balances on the excesses of human nature, including corruption. Nearly 250 years later, it hasn't always worked out. The presidency of Civil War hero Ulysses S. Grant was considered one of the most corrupt ever in U.S. history.
Things like patriotism.
Spiro Agnew, President Nixon's vice president, was accused of graft and forced to resign. And more recently, former Representative Jesse Jackson Jr., the son of the civil rights hero, was jailed for illegally spending campaign money on himself.
Accept responsibility for the errors of my ways.
Taking bribes, accepting money they shouldn't be accepting. Some lesser, some more serious, but definitely even at the highest levels of the U.S. government, including Congress, there are recent examples of corrupt practices that are taking place.
One of the reasons that corruption may not be the norm here in Washington, D.C. is that what is considered corruption perhaps in other parts of the world is perfectly legal here in the United States Capitol. We're standing on K Street, the center of a vast lobbying industry where special interest groups accept money from businesses and unions and use it to influence lawmakers. Hundreds of millions of dollars are spent every year in Washington by lobbying firms that often employ former lawmakers. Nearly half of all U.S. members of Congress leave office and become lobbyists, many trying to influence their former colleagues on someone else's behalf. And in 2010, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in a case called Citizens United that corporations and unions could spend unlimited amounts of money on election campaigns, either supporting or campaigning against candidates. Recently, the billionaire industrialists, the Koch brothers, announced they intend to raise and spend $900 million for the 2016 election to bankroll conservative candidates. Lesser funded but well-organized unions will back more liberal candidates. These developments have led to a sharp decline in public trust of the US government. When asked whether the government is corrupt, 79% in 2013 said yes, a 20% increase from just 7 years earlier. Since 1964, the number of Americans who believe government is run for interests of a few has skyrocketed from 29% to 79%. And those who think the US government exists just for the benefit of the people has dropped from 64% in 1964 to 19% in 2012.
Right now, there's a major war going on, a war of ideas, a war of ideology between folks who believe that there's legalized corruption in place in our elections in the United States, and those who feel that the First Amendment to the Constitution, the one that gives you the right to speak freely without restriction by the government, that's more important. And really, there's no firm answer right at this point as to where this is going to go in the next few years.
For now, the practice of spending money on elections and spending money to influence lawmakers is considered free speech, not corruption. That makes elections in the US expensive. An estimated $7 billion was spent on the 2012 presidential campaign and congressional races. And while it may be legal, many feel the principle of one man, one vote is drowned out by the influence of unlimited amounts of dollars. Nathan King, CCTV, Washington.
Blagojevich gets busted. Read all about it.
The extent of the alleged corruption by Governor Blagojevich stunned even veteran prosecutors like U.S. Attorney Patrick Fitzgerald.
conduct would make Lincoln roll over in his grave.
Blagojevich and his chief of staff, John Harris, are charged with threatening to withhold state funds from a local hospital and a newspaper company if they refuse the governor's demands for favors and campaign contributions. Investigators say Blagojevich was recorded on telephone wiretaps trying to sell President-elect Barack Obama's Illinois Senate seat. Fitzgerald read one of the transcripts to reporters.
I've got this thing, and it's bleeping golden. I'm just not giving it up for bleeping nothing.
Prosecutors say there is no evidence Mr. Obama was aware of the governor's efforts to auction off his Senate seat.
I had no contact with the governor or his office, and so I was not aware of what was happening.
The scandal is the latest involving alleged political corruption. Alaska Senator Ted Stevens was found guilty of lying about gifts he received from an oil services company, including improvements on his home. Stevens lost his re-election bid this year, ending a 40-year career in the Senate. William Jefferson, a congressman from Louisiana, is awaiting trial on charges of bribery and misusing his office. When federal agents raided his home in 2006, they found $90,000 in alleged bribes stashed in a freezer. Jefferson also lost his re-election bid. Alan Lichtman is a presidential historian at American University.
It is usually about money, but it's about something else as well. It's also about what I call the arrogance of power. These politicians think they are above the law, above common morality.
Lichtman says evidence of political corruption in America goes back many years. In the 1860s, just after the U.S. Civil War, during the administration of Ulysses S. Grant, corruption was so widespread that it was called the era of the Great Barbecue because crooked politicians enriched themselves in a country still recovering from conflict. In the 1920s, during Warren Harding's administration, the infamous Teapot Dome scandal led to the conviction of Interior Secretary Albert Fall on charges he accepted bribes to allow access to federal oil lands. The Watergate scandal in the 1970s led to the downfall of President Richard Nixon.
I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
Unfortunately, we have had corruption throughout American history, although it does seem to have reached a high point in recent years.
Despite the history, Americans believe the country is fundamentally moral and are outraged by corruption, Lichtman says.
And we at least now do have a political process that investigates corruption, indicts and convicts even high political figures for corruption. But I have to say, those who are indicted and convicted are probably the tip of the iceberg.
President-elect Obama promised during his campaign to fight corruption and reduce the influence of lobbyists in Washington. Analysts say the Blagojevich scandal makes it even more important for Mr. Obama to keep that promise. Meredith Buell, VOA News, Washington.
For the last few years, I've had this sense that everything I learned as a kid about how America's government works is completely wrong. But I had no idea how bad things actually were until I saw this one graph. Researchers at Princeton University looked at more than 20 years worth of data to answer a pretty simple question. Does the government represent the people? Now, this is what they found. This axis here represents public support for any given idea. On the left, at 0%, are ideas that not a single American wants. On the right, at 100%, are ideas that everyone supports. This axis represents the likelihood of Congress passing a law that reflects any of these ideas, from a 0 to a 100% chance. On this graph, an ideal republic would look like this. If 50% of the public supports an idea, there's a 50% chance of it becoming law. If 80% of us support something, there's an 80% chance. You get the idea. Now, most Americans would probably agree that, with a few exceptions, we should be as close to this ideal as possible. Unfortunately, the way America actually works doesn't even come close. Take an idea that nobody supports, literally nobody, and it has about a 30% chance of becoming federal law. Now, take an incredibly popular idea, the most popular idea this country has ever seen, and there's also about a 30% chance of it becoming law. This means that the number of American voters for or against any idea has no impact on the likelihood that Congress will make it law. put another way, and I'm just going to quote the Princeton study directly here, the preferences of the average American appear to have only a minuscule, near zero, statistically non-significant impact upon public policy. So if you've ever felt like your opinion doesn't matter and that the government doesn't really care what you think, well, you're right. But there's a catch. This flat line only accounts for the bottom 90% of income earners in America. Economic elites, business interests, people who can afford lobbyists, they get their own line. Look at how much closer their line is to the ideal. When they want something, the government is much more likely to do it. And when they don't, they have the power to completely block it from happening, no matter how much the rest of the country supports it. They get what they want, and guess who ends up paying for it? We pay for it with the most expensive healthcare in the world. We pay for it with a tax code that's a complete mess. We pay for it with internet that's slower and more expensive, with wasteful spending, a floundering education system, a catastrophic drug war, and 1 in 5 American children born into poverty. Almost every major issue we face as a nation can be traced back to this graph. How does this happen? Well, just follow the money. Right now, it's perfectly legal to buy political influence in America. Here's how it works. Let's say a big bank wants a law that would force taxpayers to bail them out again if they repeat the exact same reckless behavior that crashed the global economy in 2008. Not exactly the most popular idea with the public, and Congress knows that. That should be the end of it. But that's where the money comes in. It's perfectly legal for our bank to hire a team of lobbyists whose entire job is to make sure that the government gives the bank what it wants. Then those lobbyists can track down members of Congress who regulate banks and help raise a ton of money for their re-election campaigns. It's perfectly legal for those lobbyists to offer those same politicians million-dollar jobs at their lobbying firm. Then, those lobbyists can literally write the language of this new bailout law themselves and hand it off to the politician they just buttered up with campaign money and lucrative job offers. And it's perfectly legal for those politicians to take the lobbyist-written language and sneak it through Congress at the last second. So now you've got a law that greatly benefits the banks, and the whole process can start over. This is how a bill becomes a law. A special interest hires some lobbyists, those lobbyists collect campaign contributions, offer jobs, and then write the laws that Congress then passes to help those same special interests. This happens every day on every single issue with politicians of both parties. In the last 5 years alone, the 200 most politically active companies in the United States spent $5.8 billion influencing your government. Those same companies got $4.4 trillion in taxpayer support. And that's trillion, with a T. And that's just the top 200 companies. Never mind every other special interest, every union, every trade association, and every billionaire. Every single one of them can use their money to buy political influence. You know, there's this idea out there that this only became a problem after the Supreme Court's Citizens United decision in 2010. But the data goes back almost 40 years, and the results are clear. Corruption is legal in America. And as long as it is, anyone who can spend money to buy political influence will. The solution here isn't rocket science. Make corruption illegal. We already know Congress won't do it. I mean, one look at this chart will tell you that. What we need is a plan that lets us go around Congress and do what the American people do best. Fix this mess ourselves. Well, good news. We have that plan and it's already working. Now that we've got the problem covered, let us show you how to be part of the solution.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today?
Well, that pretty much says it all, guys. That pretty much says it all, right? I don't even have to say anything, do I? For the past 40 years, we've had neoliberal policies, laissez-faire economic attitudes, which caused, I guess, our nihilism as the servants of the rich, which are the Republicans and the Democrats, funnel the wealth to the 1%, extract the wealth and resources from the labor force, the middle class and lower class, until the middle class shrank so hard, the lower class kind of just swallowed that. Now we're just one class. It's like a caste system. It's classism. It's a class system. Yeah, so it's a sad, sad story, guys. But you know what's fun? We're acting. We are acting. We are getting our shit together, I feel like. I feel like everybody's waking up to the fact that our political servants are incredibly bought, right? And the only thing we can do is pass a constitutional amendment, get money out of politics as fast as possible. Because as you can see, it's eating up life. They're not letting that seat go away for fucking nothing. That shit's fucking golden. It's so weird how Rod Blagojevich went away. When Nancy Pelosi, when she gets caught getting Cambodia money and Burma money inside the stimulus, while attaching it to the government shutdown spending bill, she doesn't go away. Like, how do they figure, like that reporter said, I guess, like, it's like, why would you even, corruption's legal here. Like, it's not like any other country, I guess. It's just so hard to understand, like, what are the rules? I guess you can't spend directly, right? You can spend on super PACs and stuff. I guess that's it. Whatever it is, guys. They're acting. They're making money. We're acting too. We've got to, guys. We've got to act. Pandemic, the death of George Floyd, and our past presidential election were just a few of the things that called us to action. You know? Everybody's thinking about this as the apocalypse. I don't think so. I think this is like a time in our history. Was it 250 years? 250. We should look into the history. See the roadmaps. See where we went wrong. See what we can do better. That's how we progress, right? That's how we progress. I say, even though there are propounded tensions with the White House, the Senate, Republicans, and the Speaker of the House. He doesn't share our values. What are your values? Selling out to the highest bidder in Cambodia or Burma, Nancy? I still have no idea what your values are, because you literally the only thing I see is you bullshitting me. We represent them. Guys, listen to this. Washington, Reuters. U.S. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said on Tuesday that $600 stimulus checks could begin arriving to people's banks as soon as this evening. Oh my God, y'all are gonna get $600 as soon as possible. Mnuchin retweeted that payments may begin to arrive by direct deposit as early as Tuesday evening and will continue arriving into next week. The government will begin mailing out paper checks on Wednesday for people without government-registered bank accounts. See what happens when you sell out, guys? You get crumbs real fast. Why don't you take those crumbs? Make sure you find a way home, Hansel, Gretel. Because, I hate to tell you what's out in the big bad forests. You ate the gingerbread lady, that's for sure. She ate butter. I love speaking in accents, guys. Did y'all see the Brer Rabbit video? So I was telling you, I was off live stream on my homepage, and we were having a talk, me and my friends, about how Bernie Sanders is still somehow the sheepdog in the Democratic Party. He's not even a Democrat still. Why don't you be a good Democrat, Bernie? If you're gonna be a Democrat, be a Democrat. If you're gonna be a progressive, be a progressive. But I don't get it. So why do we need to sign this bill again? Because it doesn't go far enough? I don't get it. If bills don't go far enough, if bills don't meet your expectations, right? Well, then why would we vote for that? Why would we approve of these things? Why would we accept crumbs? Unless we were servants, or unless we were slaves, or unless we were cucks, right? I don't get it. So, Bernie, if you want to be a cuck to the Democratic Party, I guess you got good press from the Washington Post. Is that all you want? Or do we want health care for all? Do we want a living wage for all working people? Do we want to legalize marijuana? Do we want to make sure that Joe, you know the thing, his work, out of there. The mass incarceration, the credit card debt, the student loans, the massive deficits that we've taken on because of our incompetent leadership and our laissez-faire economic attitude. The chickens have come to roost. Let's just put it that way. The chickens have come to roost. Steve Mnuchin, he's super excited about this. Super excited about this. Mitch McConnell, on the other hand, he did a filibuster. Now, just to go into further detail about how, in fact, the Senate majority leader blocks these bills is because, okay, so the same way that the Speaker of the House brings legislation onto the floor, right? She decides what the agenda is. She decides what's going to be for a vote, which is why when Trump wanted those $2,000 stimulus checks, she immediately got on that, right? Because she had to look good, right? She had to be one up, right, on Donald Trump. She immediately put that on the House floor, right? Everybody voted for it. They took pictures, they signed autographs, they signed yearbooks. They passed it off, right? So, in the same way, the Senate Majority Leader, he has the power to take up votes, right? So, that's our bicameral legislation, guys. We have the House of Representatives. They set the agenda, okay? We have the Senate. They take up the vote. Then, they ratify the bill, which could mean like another trip back to both houses. Until it's signed by the president. Then it's not a bill. It's a law, not a bill. That's how it becomes a law. President signs it. President signed 180. He didn't sign the National Defense Authorization Bill. I love how he vetoed that. We've never had this vetoed in a million years. We love all that money. The expansion of the military. It's so funny how the Republicans, A, they don't like big government, but they love police. B, it's funny how they love the military, right? Except for the fact that none of the money, 3% pay increase, okay? How long has that pay increase been since that pay increase? 3%. Is that a lot? I don't think so. But you know where the rest goes? See, the Pentagon is the most socialist organization of our country. The Pentagon. Okay, so you have that $740 billion budget. The Pentagon peeps take that, they filter it then down. They seize that means of production, right? They filter it then down into the motherships, into the various ships. Where that could be like, and then also defense contracts, like defense contracts with corporations, Raytheon, Boeing, chemical weapons contractors. I don't know. I don't work in the Pentagon. Would I want to? I mean, if Justin Bieber worked in the Pentagon, maybe. But not right now. Not as it is today. But you know what? Maybe I'm wrong because Trump fired a whole bunch of people from the Pentagon. So maybe it's different. I saw in the Washington Post, they're like, we don't know what Trump's gonna do next. That's right. I love it. Trump, why weren't you this way for 4 years, bro? Why did you have to wait to be a fucking, chip off the old block here? Looking better than Bernie Sanders right now in the progressive lane. I mean, not all of being a progressive is just protesting and begging on your knees to the 1%. Asking them, please, let us tax you. Please pay your fair share. Please pay your fair share. Some of it's actually doing shit. Some of it's like standing on your own 2 feet and telling the conventional wisdom and the social norms to fuck off. You know? So, I know. The conventional wisdom and the social norms. I mean, you can't be too sassy, right? You have to be grateful for crumbs, right, guys? Being grateful for crumbs. I mean, honestly, the whole being grateful thing for crumbs, it reminds me of what they used to tell slaves back in the day. Like to justify the slavery in the Bible. And they're like, slaves obey your masters. Be humble. I'm just like, why? Why be humble? Why can't the 1% pay their fair share? You know why, guys? I don't know. I have no idea. You tell me. But I will tell you this. I have some guests coming soon. And hopefully. And we'll get back to talking about the breaking point. But I want to know what y'all opinions are on the chat. Write me some stuff, guys. Patty cake. Bake me a cake. Fast as you can. Roll it, pat it, do what you gotta do with it. But don't ever, if there's a Democrat that rapes you, go to Me Too. Because they'll say, Me too? You too? Are you sure? Are you positive? Because I know Joe. He's a good guy. He rides the trains in Delaware. Joe doesn't do those things. He likes ice cream. He likes to go out with his family to the Iowa Fair Caucus. You mean Joseph Elizabeth Biden? Joe Elizabeth, huh? Raping you, Tara, huh? That's just impossible. He's a Democrat. Democrats don't rape people. Democrats definitely don't give away Senate seats and say this thing is fucking golden. Democrats don't, the social norms, conventional wisdom. What a guy, Barack Obama, bro. He had class. That guy had so much class, bro. I mean, when he drank the Flint water, said it was okay, and then people died, our own people, like American citizens. I mean, that was the classy shit. Because he said, let me be clear. Let me be clear. I'm rambling now. But I was trying to wait for this video to load. It's taking forever. Do y'all know what's going on with the internets? Is this like... Okay, so can someone tell me about the... we still have net neutrality? Because I don't think so, guys. Some kind of bullshit. Let me tell you. Let me tell you guys. The New York Times. The New York Times. Washington. 2 hours ago. Senator Mitch McConnell blocked an attempt by Democrats on Tuesday. Tuesday, that's today. To hold an immediate vote on increasing stimulus checks to $2,000 from $5,000. Leaving the fate of the measure unclear as President Trump continued to demand the larger payouts, and more Republicans publicly endorsed the idea. Of course they're going to publicly endorse the idea. They've been getting phone calls. They've been getting phone calls from their constituents. That Mr. McConnell, aka the Grinch, Republican of Kentucky, and the majority leader, provided vague assurances that the Senate would begin the process of discussing $2,000 checks and two other issues that Mr. Trump has demanded lawmakers address. I don't know. I could only guess what those things are. Maybe the whole entire bill. Maybe it's why. If I was President Trump, I would ask, why did you guys try to shaft me like that? Why'd y'all try to like tie the stimulus bill to the end of government spending? Why'd you guys put a gun to my head? Tell me to play Russian roulette. Why'd you guys do that? Y'all are pretty nice, huh? Y'all are nice guys. Y'all are really nice guys. Yeah. So the stimulus check should be going out soon. Mr. McConnell would not say whether he planned separate votes on the three issues or if he would bring them for a vote. I could only wonder. I mean, he filibustered, so that's that, right? I mean, what else is there to say? Mitch McConnell's a douchebag. Why would you even give a shit? Like, why would you care? I wonder what Nancy's gonna do about it. Is she gonna do anything about it, guys? You think Nancy's gonna help? Is she gonna talk to Mitch McConnell over a nice whiskey? I doubt it. She's doing something. What is she doing back there? We never know what she's doing back there. I don't know. But all I can say is, guys, God be with us. Peace be the journey. Cool runnings. Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme. It's pushcart time. So, any more top stories? I mean, that, anybody know what's going on with the, what do you call that guy? The bomber? Was there a bomb? There was a bomb during Christmas? Bomb, Iran. Bomb, Iran. I wonder who did that. Probably wasn't in Nashville. Probably wasn't a big-ass redneck. Definitely not. Definitely not a big-ass redneck. No, I know that didn't happen. Not at all. Not at all. Well, I'm trying to get to this video. And then I'm going to close out. Because obviously nobody's on the chat. Is everybody asleep or what? I don't know. All I can say is, that your $600 checks are coming to you soon, okay, guys? Don't worry. Every little thing's gonna be all right. The sun will come out tomorrow. I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm back. So, I thought I had guests, but, looks like they're not here yet. If, we might... Hey, what up, Patrick? Pickle Pounder? Same. It's a different way, though. What's up? Welcome to Tommy Nation Politics. I'm just tired, guys. Hey, man. Welcome. So, America's tired. Tired of the stay-at-home orders, mandatory masks, business closures, and social distancing rules. You know, during the Spanish flu, officials, pushing public health mandates, they had the same trouble. Don't get it twisted. Mainstream media is thinking that, like, we're the only knuckleheads that can't wear a mask. Back in the day, they had, like, stuff going on with that stuff. They were not willing to give their liberty up. Why don't you support masks, Patrick? Finally, somebody on the chat, for God's sakes. Wait, you guys just wake up or what? Welcome to the chat. So, here is the thing. Our Constitution has given us inalienable rights. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. And, basically, it's fine to have security, okay? Fine to be secure. But it's like, do y'all ever see that movie, What About Bob? What About Bob's the story of a guy pretty much like stays in his house. And he never leaves it. He never leaves it because the wall, things could happen. Like, he's completely fine in his apartment. But when he leaves the house, like, anything could happen. He believes anything could happen, right? And so he goes to this guy who apparently gives him, like, lets him have a breakthrough. Like, he gets a little breakthrough. So he follows this guy around because he wants more. But the guy's, like, annoyed with him. And it's funny because it's Bill Murray. Bill Murray's a shit. The thing about masks, though, guys, is, first of all, if you're gonna wear a mask, you've got to wear those, the ones that filter, you know. So that's helpful. wearing a sock over your face, not helpful. And by the way, Fauci, he said at first, don't wear masks. Then he changed his mind about a month later. Said, oh, did I say don't wear masks? I meant wear masks. I just, you know, I had to get the medical personnel to wear masks first. Then you wear masks. I mean, I'm still an expert in my field, still super trustworthy, but I'm a liar. And I work for a weird-ass administration. By the way, speaking of weird-ass administration, did y'all hear about the whole Mike Pence, Donald Trump fallout? Where, like, you know, they do these little conventional wisdom and social norm things where, like, they have to get, like, the vice president to, like, interact with the other vice president. And then they all meet out on the White House. And then Trump's like, no, I don't want to do any of that shit. How about we don't? How about no? It's so funny. I have to give Trump respect, bro. He's not going along with any of this shit. It's making him so mad. I fucking love it. God, I love it. God, I love it. I mean, most of his policies are horrible. But God, I love this part. This is the part I like. This is my part. Thank you, Lord. So, I want y'all to sit back, enjoy a story that I'm about to tell you. It's a story. It's an old American folktale since it's Kwanzaa. Thought I'd get y'all just your minds involved in a little African American folktale. It's called Tar Baby. It's about this Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, and we'll see if this situation with Brer Rabbit and Brer Fox, maybe this situation might actually be something a little bit similar to what we're facing today. I mean, we do have a house that virtue signaled a $2,000 stimulus checks. Are we going to get $2,000 stimulus checks? Probably not. Why not? Because Nancy Pelosi doesn't care. Why? That's mostly the reason why. Also, Mitch McConnell definitely doesn't care. So it's like, why would you do that? Well, we'll see the thing that we can judge, because, you know, like they tell you, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, wisdom to know the difference, right? So we can't change the fact that Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell are huge douche nozzles who don't give a shit. But we can talk about our attitudes. And maybe, guys, maybe you breadcrumb eaters, you government bootlickers, maybe you guys have a point when it comes to, I don't know, humility. But we'll.
And now, story time by Tommy. Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics.
This is the story of the Tar Baby.
Didn't the fox never catch the rabbit, Uncle Remus? Asked the little boy the next evening.
He come mighty nigh, honey. Shows you born, Brer Fox did. One day, out of Brer Rabbit fooling with that calamus root, Brer Fox went to working him up in the tar and mixing with the turpentine. And Fox and then conversing with the Tar Baby and discussing the Tar Baby. He shot there with a big roll. And then he lay off in the bushes for to see what the news was gonna be. And he didn't have to wait long. Another cows have been by, here come Brer Rabbit pacing down the road. Lippity clippity, clippity lippity. There's as sassy as a jaybird. Brer Fox, he lay low. Brer Rabbit come prancing along, twirl, he spied the Tar Baby. And then he fought up on the hind legs like he was astonished. Tar Baby, she sat there, she did. And Brer Rabbit, he astonished. Brer Fox, he lay low. Morning, says Brer Rabbit, says he. Nice weather this morning, says he. Tar Baby ain't say nothing. Brer Fox, he lay low. How does y'all systems tell me? Says Brer Rabbit, says he. Brer Fox, he wink his eye, slow, and lay low. And the Tar Baby, she ain't say nothing. How you come on then? Is you deaf? Says Brer Rabbit, says he. Cause if you is, I can holler louder, says he. Tar Baby, stay still. And Brer Fox, well, he lay low. You're stuck up, that's what she is, says Brer Rabbit, says he. And that's where I'm gonna show you, says he. Brer Fox, he sort of chuckled in his stomach.
He did, but Tar Baby, he ain't say nothing. I'm gonna learn you to talk respectable folks. He's not that, says Brer Rabbit, says he. If you don't take off that hat and tell me howdy, I'm going to bust you wide open, says he. The Tar Baby, he stays still. And Brer Fox, he lay low. Brer Rabbit keep on asking him about Tar Baby. She keeps on saying nothing. Till presently, Brer Rabbit draw back with his fists, he did. And blip, he tuck on her head. Right there. Tuck one on the head. Right there. Yeah, his fist so hard it got stuck in him, Tar Baby. The tar held him. The Tar Baby, she stays still. And Brer Fox, he lay low. If you don't let me loose, I'll knock you again, says Brer Rabbit, says he. And with that, he fetch up a wipe. The other hand, Tar Baby, she ain't say nothing. And Brer Fox, he lay low. Turn me loose, for I kick the nail stuffing out of you, says Brer Rabbit, says he. But there, Tar Baby, she ain't say nothing. She just held on, and the Brer Rabbit loosed the other his feet in the same way. Brer Fox, he lay low. Then Brer Rabbit squall out. If you don't turn me loose, I'll headbutt you. Then Brer Fox, he sat forward looking this and saying was one of your mama's barking birds. Howdy, Brer Rabbit, says Fox, says he. You looking sort of stuck up in this morning. Then laughed and laughed till he couldn't laugh no more. I expect you'll take dinner with me this time, Brer Rabbit. I done laid in some calamus root, and I ain't going to take no scoose, says Brer Fox, says he. Did the fox eat the rabbit? Said the little boy one evening, when he had found the old man with little or nothing to do. Did the fox kill and eat the rabbit when he caught him with the Tar Baby? Law, honey, ain't I tell you about that? Replied the old darky, chuckling slyly. I collect your grasses. I ought to told you that. But old man Nod was riding on my eyelids, twirl a little old dismembered my own name. Oh, to that, here come your mama hollering after you. What'd I tell you when I first began? I told you Brer Rabbit was a monster zombies. Leastways, that's what I laid out for to tell you. Well then, honey, don't you go and make no other calculations. Cause in them days, Brer Rabbit and his family was at the head of the gang where the racket was hanging. If y'all begins to wipe your eyes, Brer Rabbit, don't begin to wipe your eyes. You wait and see about this Brer Rabbit. We're to fetch up at that. But that's neither here nor there. When Brer Fox find Brer Rabbit mixed up with the Tar Baby, he feel mighty good. He roll on the ground and laugh. Build me up, says he. Well, I expect I got you this time, Brer Rabbit, says he. Maybe I ain't, but I expect I is. You been sassing at me mighty long. But I expect you done. You come to the center up. Ha ha. You curd up. Ha ha ha. Your capers and bouncing around in this neighborhood. Aunt well, you come to leave Joseph Boss to whole gang. And their young Alice Summers, what you got no business, says Brer Fox, says he. Who asked you? Strike out acquaintance with this Tar Baby, huh? What's your Tar Baby? Ha ha. And who stuck you up there with you is? Nobody in the round world. You just tuck and jam yourself on that Tar Baby without one for any invite, says Brer Fox, says he. And there you is, and there you'll stay till I fixes up a brush pile and fires her up. Cause I'm going to barbecue you this day, sure, says Brer Fox, says he. Then Brer Rabbit talk mighty humble. I don't care what you do to me, Brer Fox, says Brer Rabbit. Please, don't fling me in the briar patch. You can barbecue me this day, but please don't fling me in that briar patch. Roast me, Brer Fox, says he. But don't fling me in that briar patch. Then Brer Rabbit be mighty humble. I ain't got no string, say Brer Fox. And I expect I how to drown you, says he. Drown me as deep as you please, Brer Fox, says Brer Rabbit, says he. But don't fling me in the briar patch. Please don't fling me in the briar patch. Don't fling me in the briar patch. Please don't. Please. Brer Fox look around. There ain't no water now, says Brer Fox, says he. And now I expect I have to skin you. Skin me, Brer Fox, says Brer Rabbit, says he. Snatch out my eyeballs. Tie my ears to my roots. Cut off my legs, says he. But do, please, Brer Fox, please, don't fling me in that briar patch, says he. 'Cause Brer Fox, not to hurt Brer Rabbit, bad as he can. So catch him by the behind legs and slung him and right in the briar patch. There was a considerable flutter when Brer Rabbit struck the bushes. And Brer Fox sort of hang around for to see what's going to happen. By he hears somebody calling. And way up in the hill, he see Brer Rabbit sitting cross-legged on a chickapee pitch. Out his heart with a ship. Did Brer Fox know that he been swamped off mighty bad. Brer Rabbit was bleeding to fling back some his sass. And he hollered out, "Bread and ball briar patch, Brer Fox. Bread and ball in briar patch." And with that, he skip out just as lively as a cricket, tippity-cloppity. And this embers. The end.
Democratic Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer on Tuesday pushed for an immediate vote in the chamber to boost COVID relief payments to Americans, but was rebuked by Republican Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
Is there objection to the modification?
Object.
Objection is heard.
McConnell was vague on when or if the Senate would take up the House bill, passed one day earlier, that increases relief checks from $600 to $2,000 as requested by President Trump. McConnell also urged the Senate to override the president's veto of a $740 billion defense policy bill, saying the funding plan for the U.S. military could not be allowed to fail.
For the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces, failure is simply not an option. So when it's our turn in Congress to have their backs, failure is not an option either. I would urge my colleagues to support this legislation one more time when we vote tomorrow.
It was a rare 1-2 punch to the outgoing president from McConnell, a Trump loyalist over the past 4 years, and comes just 3 weeks before Trump leaves office. In a tweet storm just before the Senate session started, Trump called Republican leaders, quote, weak and tired for passing the defense spending bill, adding, quote, we need new and energetic Republican leadership. Trump is angry at members of his own party for not fully backing his false claims of fraud in his November election loss to President-elect Joe Biden, as well as their efforts to override a presidential veto for the first time since he took office in 2016, and their opposition to bigger aid checks.
I don't want to hear it, that it costs too much to help working families get a check when they're struggling.
Final passage of the COVID-19 aid increase in the Senate would require 60 votes, including the backing of a dozen Republicans. With the new Congress due to be sworn into office on Sunday, lawmakers have only a short time to act on the measure.
So what y'all think, guys? You think Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox? You learn a little something from them, huh? Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, they be clever as hell. You know? Stunts being pulled all over the place. But the good news is we still have the things that God gave us. Family, friends, and you know, our country, and our life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Need I say more? So, without further ado, my first guest, Dr. Michael Burgess. I hope you've had a good holiday, Dr. Burgess.
Am I on? Oh, hey, there I am. I did actually, Thomas. Yeah, I got to see my two youngest kids on Christmas Day, which hasn't happened in a while. Their mom usually takes them to Canada, so it was kind of a treat.
You went to Canada?
No, they usually go to Canada. Their mom is from Canada, so they go back there and see relatives. So I haven't seen them actually on Christmas Day, and can't remember when. So it was kind of fun. It was good.
Cool.
It's worth whatever.
Well, you got the guitar there.
Let me take this off. Yeah, I was just noodling around till you put me on.
Oh, sorry about that. I was trying to make it all, you know,
I like
presentational.
Cartoon.
What'd you think of Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox?
Did
you get the point?
Oh yeah. I kind of remember those. Yeah.
It was, you know what, Doc? That was the hardest thing to read ever. I had to tell you, like, really? It was like like old English. It's so funny how English changes. Like English has changed over time, the slangs and stuff like that. Kind of made me think about Cloud Atlas. Yeah, have you ever seen that movie?
I've not seen it. Did I see that movie?
At the end of the movie, like there's then like some other like 3,000 years later, and then like they've got like a dialect of like all the different kinds of languages. Huh. It's so interesting.
Well, that's one of my favorite shows is Firefly.
Yeah.
You know, and they that's kind of a not dystopian future, a little bit dystopian, I suppose. And they speak a combination of Chinese and English in that. And Joss Whedon surmised that China and the U.S. would eventually kind of like link up. The flag that flies is like a combo of the American flag and the Chinese flag. I'm like, that's an interesting take on 500 years from now.
500 years from now.
Of it as we speak, right here. We see it.
I can't imagine the country, United States of America, being around 500 years from now. I think we're all going to be globalized.
It'll be around. I'm sure it'll be around.
It'll be around?
Yeah, I think, Thomas.
As an amusement park?
The opposite is happening. I mean, unless China does take it all over, I think the world is more fragmenting now than it is uniting under globalism. I think the opposite is happening. If you're paying attention, what's happening in Europe, man, Hungary, Britain, Poland, the EU is like, yeah, I think people have had it with the kind of that monopolistic, the few people telling everyone else what they do, and taking from one place and giving it to other places. People are like, wait a minute.
Well, what did you think about the news going on right now? The stimulus news. What is your take on this?
Stimulus news. Okay,
I have my own take, but I'm a whole different.
Thanks for sticking to that. Because if we have to talk about like Biden in the election.
We can talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But,
Okay. Thank you.
but this is the current news. This is what all the people want to talk about because
I will personally. I would love the money. 600 won't suck. 2,000 would be kind of amazing. And I think I keep telling like my Democrat friends, whoever people. I try not to stay on politics too much lately, just because it's a freaking shit show, and people who I otherwise love and respect, we just can't talk about this stuff. It's just so raw at the moment. It is for me too. I can't keep my composure most of the time just because I'm.
Why can't you keep your composure?
I can't understand people, Thomas. I don't get what is going on, dude. Like,
what do you mean? Be more specific.
Just the like with what's going on with COVID, what happened with it, how it's being used, like just blatantly destroying everything that what I thought Democrats stood for, like the middle class, small business people, workers, are just getting roasted, so that there's this literally upward transfer of wealth to elites in our country and around the world. Like they talk about, it's called the reset, right? They even try to frame it like it's some kind of like happy deal for us all. And I'm like, what is happening? This stimulus. Okay, the stimulus.
Yeah.
When I heard Rand Paul speak, and then Tulsi Gabbard gave her she did, I think, like a Instagram post or some kind of stream she did.
Yeah, she does live streams like all the time now because like
and they just made the point. They're like, they get it. This bill shows exactly nothing new. It shows exactly what Congress does, what our Congress does to pass legislation. They create this unbearable need for us, like is politically unassailable crisis, and then throw not 900 billion, which by the way, Pelosi was asking for 2.2 trillion and settled for 900, or is it the same thing? Like, is it really?
And then she rejected Trump's $1.8 trillion. She said it was half a loaf.
Right. And
she
now
said it was half a loaf.
But now it's 900 billion, but then there's also another 1.2 trillion. So I'm like, wait a minute. And they're trying to say, well, the relief isn't the same thing as the bill. And I'm like, well, okay, that's just stupid, because that's what if you do the math, that's what the 2.2 trillion was, morons. Like, why are people so freaking, you can't see through that at all. Look, why the hell we got to be given tens of billions of dollars to, Israel, Pakistan for gender studies, and Sri Lanka, and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. I did a chart where it showed like per capita, Israelis benefit to the tune of like $50,000 a piece on that aid, where we're getting the 600. And the idea that they can't afford to give us $2,000 just makes me like, my stomach starts to like churn, and my heart beats and my ears get red, because I don't get mad a lot, but when I do get mad, I kind of explode in my head.
I mean, don't we all? We all do that. We all explode in our heads. But the thing that makes my head explode is that they are literally, transparently robbing us. And then you tagged me on that Facebook post. Your friend, who's, I don't know how much more milk toast you could possibly
Sean, the Democrat.
I wasn't gonna name names. But I'm just saying that like that's their mentality. Is I'm just gonna vote for a Democrat again, and that's what makes my mind blow.
Well,
my mind blows hard when I see that shit. I'm like, what? Even after all of this, they're transparently robbing us. And all you can think about is the next time you vote for a Democrat, holy shit.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
The very idea, like what his post was, is that, he's distinguishing between Democrats and Republicans, and he tends to side with Democrats. And he says we still have a two-party.
Okay, that was.
I'm like, Sean, I've known you since we were kids, dude. The idea that there are two parties is long gone. If there was any demonstration that that's true, they've shown it blatantly. I said it is not Democrat and Republican, Thomas. It's not liberal or conservative. You and I prove it's not I'm not I realize I'm not libertarian. I'm populist. I'm like Tucker Carlson, I suppose, something like that, or Rand Paul, or Tulsi Gabbard for that matter, or I think Bernie Sanders is try to be a populist.
What do you think about? Okay, so this is my opportunity because you don't swing as far left as I do. I swing more left than you do. So I'm just trying to get your take on this because maybe you have a different one. But Bernie Sanders, bro. What the hell is going on with that guy?
I don't know where he's gone lately. Here's my thing.
Right now he's like holding up. He's filibustering the authorization, right? The defense authorization.
Something like that, yeah.
So basically, he's gone and he's going. This doesn't go far enough. So we're gonna vote for the bill, and then he's gonna spend the night in the Capitol. He's gonna do a filibuster.
Mr. Smith,
Bernie, you're like 97. How long are you gonna filibuster?
He's gonna do is Mr. Smith goes to Washington. Yeah, Thomas.
This shit is not working anymore. It's not effective. Don't you guys see that? It's not effective.
Like Rand Paul voted against it. Tulsi Gabbard was a few voted against it. Andrea Ocasio-Cortez complained. She said this is like hostage taking. She said you give us a 5,000-page bill 2 hours before we're supposed to vote on it. It's like Nancy Pelosi all over again. Like, oh, we need to vote for it so then we can read it.
They always do that. And then you know what they did this time, Doc? They attached it to the end of spending.
Correct.
You notice that?
So the government had to shut down. Like you have a government shutdown. People's unemployment run out. Like I said, they create a crisis on purpose.
Created.
Even when Trump he stands up and says, "This is horseshit. I'm not signing."
They put a gun to his head. Head. If you don't sign this motherfucker, we're not. The government's gonna shut down. Everyone's gonna blame you. Wow.
Dude, I don't think if he's going out, because it's not certain that he's going out yet. But if he
it's not.
Thomas.
I mean, Electoral College, Candyland College.
People have to read the Constitution and read Abraham Lincoln, read John Adams, Thomas Jefferson. Not every time in our history has the vote elected a president. Several times we've had Congress elect a president.
So what's your take on what is going to happen if this theory that you're saying? Okay, so I haven't read the Constitution. I haven't read that part of the Constitution. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen?
It'll take. It's kind of I guess it's kind of a long shot, but what it'll take is like to have like faithless electors. There's these competing electors, and it really comes down to basically Mike Pence and the people in Congress. And if they can't certify either guy for 270 electoral votes, then the House has a delegation vote. That can happen. And it looks more and more like that's how it's going to happen.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's not new. It hasn't been done in a long time, but it doesn't mean that it's anything novel.
Well, I mean, we have our conventional wisdom and our social norms, and whatever we do, Doc, please let's not interrupt decorum, because decorum's the most important thing. Okay.
I agree.
It really is.
I agree. It's gone though. I mean,
decorum.
It's so gone.
You agree? I was being facetious.
It's gone. Decorum. It's gone. Yeah, decorum.
I love how
I can't even talk to my friends anymore. I'm like, I can't talk politics because I'm gonna start being like not a nice guy. I can't hide like my anger and my contempt with not the political class, Thomas. You and I know they're all the swamp. They are the swamp. They've done this. This is just the latest thing they've done. This is nothing different than what they used 9/11 to increase their surveillance and to increase their power. And only a few people have ever really fought against that. I mean, and it's the people like you and me, people amongst our friends who just willingly hand over authority and liberty to these freaking people. Watch what was pretty obviously, if not like election fraud, certainly election rigging. And what the hell? I mean, they did it to Bernie Sanders. They did it in the Democratic primary. It's like, again, that's nothing new. Ballot stuffing, changing the rules at the last minute so that, send out 100 million ballots to people who didn't even ask for them, dead people, fucking that. And they're just like, send them in, like pull them out from under the tables and stuff them in there.
So I've heard all of that stuff. Where's the sources? Where's the video? Where's the evidence? That
The video, right there's a video of the lady pulling the freaking box out. They sent everyone away.
Where's the video?
Thomas, it was all over the news.
All over the news? So then, that girl, when she was had the glasses on, she was like drinking? She's like, that book over there.
Not that girl. No, there's video. There's video of, where was it? Georgia, I think. They sent everyone out of the room. And the video is like 4 cameras or whatever, and they show the girl. She takes a box out from under a cloth table, a couple of boxes out, take out these ballots that they found in the middle of the freaking night, and starts running them through the machine when they're supposed to be done counting. No accountability. Everyone's gone. They did it while everyone was gone. And this didn't just happen in Georgia. It happened in Michigan. It happened in Arizona. It happened in Pennsylvania. It happened in Georgia.
It was a synchronized effort by the briefcase voter people. Synchronized effort.
Well, look, man, this is like the most egregious sort of anomaly that I've ever seen. Biden underperformed everywhere. He got less counties than Hillary Clinton. He won.
Hey, if you say that shit, you ain't black. You look here, buddy. You know the thing.
Yeah,
you ain't black.
The only place he picked up votes were these very distinct machine districts. That's the only place he picked up all these millions of votes. That's all I can tell you. And maybe he did. You know, maybe when you count 100,000 or 200,000 mail-in ballots, all of them are for Biden and none of them are for Trump or another candidate.
I heard my friend Micah saying that too.
That could happen, but is it likely that it happened? I'm like, no. There's no way 200,000 ballots or 1 million ballots get run through and literally all of them are for Biden. Like every mistake, every poll, every single counting mistake, every little glitch, every single problem, every poll that was wrong by 7 or 8 or 10 points always swung to Biden. Always. If that's not like what was just obvious election tampering and rigging, I don't know what else is. And I can't even, it's hard to talk about. I'm sorry, we should have talked more. You want to talk more about the $2,000.
Well, I mean, I'm liking that we're talking about this actually right now because it kind of just leads in, and we're about to answer your question, Skook 27. It's okay, Skook 27. So hold on, Bugatti.
I'm not looking. We got people listening. Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, but if there was ever a time to question authority, the old counterculture slogan of the 1960s, was the COVID, it was trust the experts. Always, how people used to say the 60s and the 80s, trust the experts. If you're lost, find a police officer. If you're, all of this stuff, it's all on its face now, irrelevant. It's all about your mind and questioning you. This rugged individualism that our founding fathers wrote into our Constitution, this is the go time. That's all I'm going to say. It's go time.
There's no way democracy survives, Thomas, without like moral integrity and introspection. You don't have to be a genius. I love this idea that the porables, the constituency, like the people that didn't go to college, as if they're easily swayed, and like the Hispanic vote, easily. It's so amazing to listen to these people because you don't vote with the woke, with the establishment. You're some kind of, you're some sort of dummy or whatever. You're uneducated.
You are. You're not in with the in crowd. Okay, you don't know about the conventional wisdom.
I have a doctorate degree. I'm involved in music. I have music friends all the time say, "How can you be a musician and be conservative?"
I know you said musician conservative. That sounds transphobic. I don't know about that.
I'm not conservative, but I get the idea because I'm not like a raging liberal. They're like, "How can you be a musician and be that?" I'm like,
look, the Big Tent Party, known as the Democratic Party, is not a big tent. In fact, well, it's like when Cersei. Remember when Cersei in season 6 was it? She got everybody together in the Scepter Baelor.
Yeah, I remember.
The Scepter Baelor. And then she blew it the fuck up. That's what the Big Tent Party is. That's what the Party.
Yeah.
So first question
And
is
I know my answer is because I've been a musician, you know what it's like. I've been self-employed. You
Yeah.
got to go out and get work. I've been self-employed. I've had to deal with the direct vagaries of the tax code because I had to do my own taxes, because I had income from all these other places. I had to learn how to depreciation. I had to learn, how to eke out a portion of my house for an office, how to deduct, all that kind of crap. I had to do I learned all about it. I'm like, yeah, I was pretty liberal. I voted for Bill Clinton when I was in college. I was a pretty liberal, getting pretty liberal until the Clinton and Bush administrations. I'm like, oh, hell no. And I started dealing with my own career. I'm like, no, this is screwed up. My original ideas, because I was like a Reaganite Democrat or a Reaganite Republican, I suppose. My idea is that government.
We're going to have a conversation about what you're talking about with Reagan in a bit.
Well, the government, Reagan said, he said a lot of awesome things, but one of my favorite things he said is government is not the answer to the problem. Government is the problem. That's a paraphrase, but that's basically what
he would say that. He's a Republican.
He said about like accomplishments and about taxes. He's like, it's not our money. It's your money.
It is our money. It's our fucking money.
Where
is stimulus? What is stimulus? What unemployment?
Give us the $2,000. Fine. But how
it's
about
in Cambodia? It's in Burma.
How about
it's in Saigon?
How about
it's in China?
How about not take it in the first place? How about don't take it from us in the fucking first place?
I mean, yeah. Okay. Oh, the first question on the is by what's his name? It's Patrick Pickle Pounder 1. Okay.
I can't see these. Oh, you can see him. I can't see him. What's the question?
You can't. Okay, so who do you personally want to be in office in the 2020 election? Because I guess it's who do you personally want to make? You can't see it on the screen. I'll put it up there.
All I can see is Benny is a G-fam. Dog ain't no third party ever gonna win.
Yeah, that's the chat.
Oh, where's the? I don't see. That's all I see is chat. I don't see any.
Yeah.
Questions.
So the first question on the chat was, so who do you personally want to make office this 2020 election? I guess the election's over.
We need.
The thing is won.
We need Trump to stay, man.
I mean, if he stays just like he is right now, then I agree. Okay. He stays just like he is right now. If he goes back to siding with Mitch McConnell.
Thomas, if he pulls off being able to stay, what that will mean. I mean, they made up the Russian stuff. They made up the Russian stuff
about everything right now.
If he actually pulls off this thing with the election fraud thing, he stays in there. Oh my God, they will freaking tear him up, man. It'll be nonstop. Like, it was bad. But he's all we got left, dude. Like, he just doesn't care about these people. He will screw Republicans. He will screw Democrats. Anyone who's part of this freaking swamp, this establishment, he'll take them apart. He'll find anything he can within his powers to do it. You saw it. He tried. Since when? Oh my God! Media and my Democrat friends against bringing troops home. You please explain this to me. You've been on this for ages.
Oh my God! That is. Oh my God! It's the worst, right? It's the worst. It's the worst. I don't understand. Our principles and values are completely done.
I don't know what's going on. What's funny is to hear people now talk like with the stimulus thing and with railing against the bill or whatever. They're saying, "Oh, Trump he's kind of acting more like a Democrat," and then they bring up the fact finally after 4 years, like that he actually was a Democrat for most of his life. I'm like, that's what I've been saying for freaking 4 years for sure, but like 20 years. Like he is not any kind of like conservative or a Republican. I mean, like he's something else completely.
Right.
Like him or hate him, because he's kind of not a likable person, although he just was voted by, was it Gallup, the most admired man in America, unseated Barack Obama.
Who is the most admired man in America?
Gallup. This is awesome.
Is this a fact?
Gallup's most admired man for 12 years has been Obama. Trump just unseated him as the most popular, as the most admired
like presidents, huh? Because the most admired man, I think, is
just think about this. The man got 75
I think it's Brad Pitt, personally.
75 million votes, 11 million more than he did last time, which is better than any incumbent has done in our history. All the like 95%, not just negative press, but like made up vicious crazy ass.
Yeah, steal dossiers, Russian hookers. I know.
Just nonstop. Anything he does, no matter what he does, just hammering the dude for 4 years, and he still won 75 million votes. Increased his standing in the minority community, in the gay community, everywhere. Increased everywhere, and right now we just had an election. And he's the most admired man in America, not Joe Biden.
And it turns out that Joe Biden won the popular vote and the Electoral College.
There is no such thing as a popular vote. Oh, this drives me nuts.
There's no such thing as a popular vote. I mean, I would assume that the popular vote would be the popular vote.
There's no such thing in this country.
Playing with words now.
It's a meaningless. That is a meaningless number. The popular total is a meaningless number. And
so, Scoop 27. I just want to know. You said up here, dog, and no third party ever going to win an election, homie. So you know why people are going? You know why the third party is not going to win an election? It's because you. That's why. Okay, that's why. So, I just want you to know that.
I'm saying
the reason that we're not going to win is because you.
People say we aren't going to win, right?
So, can we fix that?
It's
That's the whole point of Tommy Nation Politics.
It's easy to fix.
It's the whole point because we need to speak clearly. Okay, we got two parties robbing us transparently.
You've got people.
Please,
I lived in Texas.
Bernie is my G fam too, but I will call him out. I'll call out family. I'll say your hair's nappy right now. Your hair, Bernie, your hair nappy. Get your hair together. Go ahead, Mike.
You've got a huge segment of the country being led by Texas that is seriously talking about creating their own union within the. I don't know what that means exactly. I don't know if that means sedition, but it certainly means like they're like sort of a politic body, and people go like crazy about that. I'm like, well, didn't we just have in Seattle that group? They're still there. They did it in Portland again, right? They set up that colony. What is it called? I can't remember what it's called. But those people, they declared that this isn't America. They took over a bunch of buildings, took businesses from people. That thing in Seattle, they set up, this is our own country. And no one said anything. That's just protest. But someone
mean, there weren't a bunch of black people were there because I can't see that happening.
It's hardly ever that, dude. Like that.
I can see the cops going in ASAP there. Excuse me, no. It's not. Doc. Wait until after the Georgia runoffs before you talk about defunding the police. Wait until after the Georgia runoffs because they hit us over the head with that. So you black people, you know the thing. You gotta wait.
Defund the police. Defund the police is not a good idea. Not even black people want to defund the police, Thomas.
Look, because it's a dumb slogan. Okay, so Doc, it's a dumb slogan. It's not what it means.
It's really stupid.
What I'm saying, it doesn't mean they fucking concocted it. Okay, but what we're actually doing when we say defund the police, reallocating funds and actually like having a crime database of police people who have abused people and other cases. We need that. Okay, we need that. So if you can stop with your stupidity and your stupid slogans, Democrats.
Don't call it defunding.
It's important. I mean, I have to because the Democrats have. Otherwise, what do we?
That is suicide. That is suicide to everywhere. No one wants less police. Nobody.
I want less police. I want less police. In fact, police make me nervous every day because you have no idea what they're going to do. And they have the highest domestic abuse rates in the country. Police do. Okay? They abuse their kids. They abuse their, that's what I'm saying. And people that have cops in their families, people that have cops in their families, they'll tell me this. They will tell me this.
5%?
They have anger issues.
3%, 8%.
That's why they want to be in power. They want to have power over people, so they can exercise those anger issues. It's really psychologically.
That is such a sweet.
Doc, it's really psychological
thing, man.
What do you mean?
That is such a sweeping generalization. Like
I'm just saying,
all cops are racist. All cops are abusers. All cops are out to kill black people. Like,
yes, Doc. You know why? Because it's not like saying all black people are or all Chinese people are. Because they can take off that police uniform, but they put that police uniform on so they can abuse us. That's why they put it on. Because the pay. Is it the pay? Is it the pay? Doc?
Where, Thomas? Like
what are the perks of being a cop?
Not much.
Well, then why would they be a cop then?
You get shot at, you get freaking abused.
So they can abuse us. Obviously. God, why is it so hard? Look at it.
You've got it. I won't argue with you because you've got a certain experience of that, and I'm not going to argue with your experience.
I mean,
I'm
not, Doug, we're friends, and I'm not taking anything personally. But I really do want to know why. I do.
The vast majority of police just try to serve their communities. They're decent dudes.
Just trying to serve my community, putting on a little
decent people
badge and break it into your house if it's open. If you have probable cause, maybe shoot your dog. Who knows? Serving my communities.
Yeah, that's not where I wanted to go, man, because that's a whole other kind of issue.
Oh my God, I know. See, this is where I slay. I'm Buffy the Vampire Slayer on the guy.
Yeah,
I'm Buffy.
The police was a boondoggle, man. Like that was not the thing to talk about.
The whole point is the whole fact that Joe Biden is lying. And did you hear Trump told 94 lies?
Lies?
He told 94 lies yesterday. Trump did.
Whatever.
Oh, so Trump's a liar. Y'all know Trump's a liar? Okay, well, Joe Biden is a liar times 100.
CNN.
Joe Biden lied 3 times before breakfast. Why are you bringing this up then? Got CNN? Trump's a liar. Joe Biden lies way more, and he's lied for way longer. So what the fuck is the point with this mainstream media? Their narratives don't ever make sense. Have you ever noticed that? Their narratives never make sense.
They're done.
This narrative that Trump stopped the unemployment benefits. He's not in Congress. What the hell are you talking about? Are you guys
creating havoc? Trump is creating havoc. I'm like,
they said his mood was worsening. Fucking, are you guys psychologists?
Creating havoc? I'm like, somebody needs to create some freaking havoc with these people. Are you kidding me? Like,
somebody does.
Havoc.
Somebody needs to light a fire under Nancy Pelosi.
He said that the bill is a piece of trash and he's going to wait to sign it until they get their shit together. I'm like,
yeah, but he didn't though. What do you think about that, Doc?
That sounds like a president.
He didn't wait.
That sounds like a president to me.
Yeah, but he didn't wait though. He signed it. He signed it immediately.
He had to. I'm disappointed in that, but what else is he going to do? He's going to be out of office if he doesn't pull it off. He's out.
He's going to be out of office anyway. I mean, well, I guess we'll see. Because January 20th, I'll invite you back right now. Okay.
Okay.
The inauguration of Joseph Elizabeth Biden. He's going to have his inauguration, and we'll celebrate. We'll toast.
Okay.
What would go well with Joe Biden? Probably Mad Dog 2020.
Biden administration. Look,
Mad Dog 2020. I recommend it's my sommelier experience.
It'll be next week that we'll know that the shit will hit the fan. The 20th.
So what will we know next week? What will we know
January
next week?
6th. January 6th is when they certify the Congress and the vice president. Our vice president has to certify the electoral college votes.
He's gonna be in another country. Do you know that, right?
Who?
He just scheduled a trip. Mike Pence. He just scheduled a trip for the Middle East. He'd rather be in the Middle East in January 6th than here.
I don't think that's what's happening. But
it's what's happening.
I don't think that's what's happening.
Well, let me fact check it right now.
Okay.
But anyway, anything you want to say about the $2,000 stimulus checks while I do this?
All I'm going to tell you is what I've said to people about it. I'm like, look, $2,000 is an easy call as long as it's the $2,000. I mean, that's part of it, but it's the offset. It's how can they say we can't afford to give you $2,000, but we can send hundreds of millions of dollars to freaking Pakistan and, load up Iran with billions of dollars and, all this other crap going everywhere else, but you can't give us more than $600? It's so stupid, dude. And my thing is don't take it in the first place. It's our money.
I agree.
Like they're doing us some kind of favor because they just trash. Let me make a living. How about we do fucking that? Just lift the freaking lid off of this bullshit virus thing, which now I'm just getting off track, real off track. All I'm saying is it's our money.
Yeah.
Give it back to us for sure before you give it to anybody else, anywhere else. You've got this thing locked down for almost a freaking year now. $2,000, $600 is a joke. It's a joke. 2,000 is
like Tulsi said, it's a slap in the face.
$2,000 is like 1 month's rent.
Leaving a bad tip. That's what that is.
$2,000 is 1 month's rent and some groceries. This has been 10 months going on 12 months of this shit. $2,000 is nothing, but you're sending all this money everywhere else, and you loaded it up like the Kennedy Center. What the hell does that have to do with COVID?
I don't know.
They're not
Nancy
saying
really
that
loves the Kennedy Center.
down. They sent
She does.
everyone home. They fired the orchestra. What the fuck? $25 million or $1 billion, whatever the freak it is. Like, no. Like, give it to us first, or give it back to us first. What that really is like a tax rebate, as far as I'm concerned.
Let me read this. Real quick. So,
also, I'm saying the $2,000 is like easy pickings, and Mitch McConnell.
It is, but Mitch McConnell is a horrible guy. He's a Grinch.
He can eat shit. He's a freaking moron. And anyone who's talking fiscally, if you're going to be fiscally conservative, don't take it in the damn first place and rein in the spending. It's got to be a combination of, give us the $2,000, but you got to unload the money from somewhere else, because you can't just keep printing trillions of dollars or borrowing trillions of dollars. Someone's got to pay that bill. It's not going to be you and me. It's going to be like 2 or 3 generations from us are still going to be paying that freaking bill, man.
So this from UPI. Okay. I don't know what UPI is.
January.
Huh?
In January.
Yes, in January.
It's got to be after January 6th, though.
I haven't read it yet. I was waiting for it. Vice President Mike Pence is planning a trip to the Middle East and Europe immediately after he is set to oversee Congress. Okay. So I guess it's immediately after. Okay. So this is told Politico and NBC News. Pence may travel to Bahrain, Israel, Poland, starting January 6th.
That's another
thing. He's going to get the fuck out of there as soon as he can. That's cool.
Israel. Yeah.
Israel. Hey, they were in the bill too. Just not us. We're worse than Israel. We suck.
Yeah.
The American people, if we could just pick ourselves up by our bootstraps, that's all we can do.
You know what?
We need to work harder.
I know how to do that. I've been doing that for 30 years. That's exactly how.
The whole trick is that there's no bootstraps, and bootstraps don't help you pick up anything. If you have bootstraps, I don't think. Have you ever had bootstraps? They don't really help you get up. They don't. I mean, what do they do?
You put on the boots, I suppose.
I mean, they help you put on the boots, and then what? Phase 2? What?
All I want, it's real simple. Just leave us the hell alone. That's what this country was meant to do.
They're not gonna, though.
Let us help.
That part is over.
Let us
help.
Over.
Like, they're never gonna leave us alone. They have our metadata in undisclosed locations. They're never gonna leave us alone.
What to do let us decide what to do with our words, with our money, with our thoughts, with our actions. Don't assume what we can't do or what we won't do or what we're not good enough to do. It's like, this is all like, big brother bullshit. They know better than us. They know how to spend the money better than us. You're greedy. If we leave it to private enterprise and local, charity and government, no one will get taken care of. That's a bunch of bullshit, because government doesn't take care of it. They don't take care of it.
I mean, by taking care of it, do you mean paying it off?
Not paying it off. Actually helping people. I work in real estate, dude. I saw Section 8. I saw the Section 8 program. It's a freaking boondoggle. It doesn't. If you try to get on it, it'll take years for you to get on it. And when you get on it, all the incentives are wrong, because all it does is give you money if you stay as a female, usually single, and have children. That's how you get more money.
Why do they always do that? Why is it always a ladies' night? It's always a ladies' night at the welfare.
So what happens is these women keep the benefit, and their guy lives there on the side. Now that is illegal, but many landlords are like, as long as the money comes in, So I'm like, well, this is crazy shit, man. It's like, how about letting them get married and not take away the money? This is why this is why I'm marginally Thomas, the same way I'm for this $2,000 going to everybody and not having it targeted. UBI, universal basic income. Like, do away with all of this politically targeted welfare.
I agree.
And just give everyone money, or don't take it. There's 2 choices there. Either don't take it, like get rid of the 16th Amendment and let us keep all our money, pay taxes in other ways. You can raise revenue in lots of ways than taxing income. And you do. There's lots of ways to raise money. Either let us keep it in the first place, or give it to everybody. Give everyone the same shot. Give everyone the same platform. Whatever it is, 12,000, 20 grand a year, whatever it is. What is it? 1,000 a month?
Yeah.
What was Andrew Yang talking about?
He said 2,000. He was saying 2,000.
$2,000. That's a lot. But then you've said it too. Like you look at defense spending, you look at this even domestic and foreign spending. It's like the idea that you could come up with $1,200, $1,500, $1,800, $2,000 for people to have like a basic standard of living.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm not. That's not conservative, Thomas. Is that a conservative idea? Like I don't think so. I guess in one sense it is.
No, I don't think so. I think everybody having food, clothes, and shelter is not a conservative idea. I think that's a American idea.
Whatever it is, but if we're gonna use the government, then we gotta take the politicization of it out of it. I don't know how to say that. Sorry, I have a doctoral degree. I can't.
Politicization.
My brain goes freaking insane. I can't remember how to say words. It's so mad. It's like dude, either leave it to us in the first place, or it goes to everybody without any kind of political constituency or intersectionality, like nothing. Everyone gets it, which is kind of egalitarian in a way. Like everyone gets the $1,000. And if you want to means test it a little bit, that's fine. You can means test it a little bit.
I mean, I'm comfortable. I feel like UBI was a perfect idea. Andrew Yang has been right about automation. He was right about this pandemic. He's been right about a lot of things.
He gets screwed. He said after the election, he was there talking reason. He gets screwed by the Democratic.
He's not the only one. And yet, these two people are still, they're still in the Democratic Party.
Why?
I don't know.
It's like
someone in the chat,
let
let me know. Why is Andrew Yang and Bernie Sanders, why are they still even associated with the Democratic Party?
Gabbard,
after this?
I don't know.
Yeah, Tulsi too. I mean, she's a good soldier.
They hope.
And by the way, you could call her transphobe. You could do all this stuff to her. Her only agenda is to protect people. She could really care less about what anyone says about her at all.
Right.
It's amazing. That's why I haven't reached out to talk to her. I want to talk to her, but I'm blown away by the fact. How are you possible, Tulsi? No, she just shakes it off, bro. Everything. The transphobic. She fucking hates people. She's a Russian asset. If someone came to me for that, if Hillary came up to me with that, I couldn't be like that.
She's gorgeous.
I couldn't just fucking blow it off.
She's freaking tough as hell. When she's on these
I open a jar of pickles on Hillary's ass.
With Tucker, or she's on with CNN. It's when they do put her on, as they get her on, they try and when she was on The View, that kind of shit. She is so cool. It's like, damn, like she is.
I mean, and then when you ask her a question, it's like she tells you why she doesn't vote for the bill and not like gays, blacks, women. It's like she doesn't use identity. He's never used identity politics ever.
Correct.
For anything.
No jargon. Exactly right. Like I don't agree with a lot of what she believes. Crazy. I don't agree with politically. Kind of like I don't with you about this. You know, there's a lot that I don't agree with on the government is a problem, but then we're gonna make government like the overreaching thing for everything. We're gonna make it socialist. I'm like, wow. So the government owns everything? Like that's not cool. So I have problems, but I respect her.
Well, it's because you know where we stand. That's why you know that. Because we're not hiding behind identity politics.
Correct.
We're not hiding.
To Sean, to anyone out there who's still a Democrat or still a Republican, it's like, dude, that is done. There's no more of that. There's them, the establishment, who has media. You know, they've got big tech, billionaire. They got all the billionaires. It's all your little primo that talked about how the money works, like that. Basically, money influence is legal in this country. Like no other country does the
money is speech. Money is speech now.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? What do you have? I think so too. It's not. Is it fine? It's not. Money is not speech. Speech is speech. Stop playing with words. That's what they do in Congress. Language. They're always talking about the language.
Yeah.
They're always talking about language.
You got people like Ted Cruz, who's again put in a bill to limit terms to like 2 for senators, and I think it's 3 for reps.
Yeah.
2-year terms. Like 6. I think it's either 6 to 12 years for a rep, and 12 years for senators. That's something like that. Like that's enough. You can do that. Ted Cruz.
Take money.
Go figure.
Yeah. Well, what is there? Is there going to be is this the breaking point? Is this the breaking point, Doc?
The what?
Is this the breaking point?
We're at something, man. We're I don't know what's going to happen, but we are all like ready to just. And I think this COVID thing is showing it. When you got like otherwise very decent, some people I've known for years, decades, who've never been political in their lives, and I've never seen anything like the kind of things they post now. They become hugely politically active, like against government, like very anti-government.
The government's a pain in the ass right now, and they're all horrible.
Some of these people have jobs. Like one guy, he has a job. He's pissed for everyone because he's a musician with me. He sees what's happened to the bars and the restaurants and our livelihoods and our entertainment.
Yeah, they single-handedly caused the Great Depression.
Anything we've done.
They single-handedly they caused it. Not even the pandemic caused it. They caused it.
Correct.
That's the crazy part, right? Isn't that crazy?
They're doing it.
They are worse than a pandemic of coronavirus.
They're doing
These
it
two
worse.
parties.
Fauci saying
worse.
Now he's changing the goalpost about herd immunity was like 60%, and he's like, no, it's more like 70. Oh, it could be 80. And someone held him down. He's like, well, it's it's a guesstimate. I'm like, so we have faced 10 months of like lockdowns and destroying businesses and got to wear masks and all this crazy shit they've done to us because Fauci's making guesstimates.
Is that what that is, or is he just lying? Because he lied before.
Well,
so.
He calls it guesstimating. What is guesstimating?
Guesstimating? That's like what your mom says when she's like, "Hi, how long is it to Sonic?" "Oh, honey, like 15 minutes. Are you sure, Mom?"
Lying.
I'm guesstimating, honey. Shut the fuck up.
Guesstimating is covering for the fact that you either don't know what the fuck you're doing, or you do know what you're doing, and you don't want people to know what you're really doing.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, Doc. What is Nancy Pelosi doing? What is she doing? I don't know what she's doing. Mom, the meatloaf. The meatloaf, Mom.
Yeah, Nancy Antoinette's going to lose her freaking political head. You watch.
I know she blew out Shahid
Buttar.
Buttar.
Republican Speaker of the House. That would be hilarious.
Why is she still Speaker? I don't think
she's going to. Well, she's still Speaker because there's not a new Congress. I mean, she's the Speaker until.
No, but you see, okay. So have you heard about this? Okay, this is our last topic. But I need to know. So you watch Jimmy Dore sometimes, right?
I dig him. I don't know.
He started an idea called "Force the Vote." # Force the Vote. Force the Vote is in order for the Progressive Caucus or the Progressive Caucus to vote for her for Speaker, we withhold our vote until she brings, because the Speaker brings the legislative agenda to the floor. Until she brings Medicare for All to a vote, we will not vote for her as Speaker. That's what the # Force the Vote. Jimmy Dore. Okay, so he came up with this, Doc. So then AOC, through one of her surrogates, started trashing Jimmy and talking about how it's never going to work. And I was like, why not? At least he's had an idea. What are you doing? Because they went to a salon together the other day, her and Nancy. And then I'm sure Nancy told her the speech of, "We're going to primary you."
AOC?
AOC. AOC's become like Bernie Sanders. They are complete cucks. They're cucks right now.
Yeah.
They're complete cucks right now. Why? Jimmy Dore, he had an idea.
She's got no one. She's a doofus. She's got no integrity, dude. Like she's got.
Yeah, because she said before. Okay, so she was from Justice Democrats. She said before she got elected, she was on the Jimmy Dore show. She was doing it all kinds of. She said she would never vote for Nancy Pelosi as Speaker. Here she is, fucking doing patty cakes with Nancy Pelosi, going to salons, doing Matty Patties. After she got elected. Who can we trust, motherfucker? Who can we trust?
Well, I'm not for Medicare. I'm not for Medicare for all. That's another topic, another day. But the fact that even someone like her can be kind of swallowed up into the establishment, because she said, "Oh, this has to take him," but then she votes yes on the bill.
Yeah, yes.
She's all talk. She's all talk and absolutely no action.
She is all talk. What the fuck?
She tried to get on like the economics committee or something like that and got voted down by like 70%.
But that's politics though. That's because
no one likes her.
In order for you to get somewhere politically, you have to whip votes if you're a leader.
Correct.
Or you have to be able to have leverage.
She's more
use your leverage. You have to use your leverage.
Correct. Well,
that's what you have got to do.
Polarizing than Trump. Like
it's like I'm teaching these guys how to do politics. I don't understand.
Good luck.
I know we're politicians.
God love you, dude. But good
leverage. If you're not a leader, whipping the votes. It's really not hard. I learned it in one semester. I swear to God, poli sci. Semester 1. 101. Political side 101. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But all I can say is
I'm gonna play my guitar. Well, like Nero, play my guitar.
That's Rome Burns?
Yeah.
Oh man.
What's wrong?
What are you trying to play?
Something I made up.
Well, I like it when people make up things because it's a time where people are free thinking, innovative, and also open-minded. Thank you for joining us at Tommy Nation Politics. Please join us at Tommy Nation Politics anytime at www.tommynationpolitics.com. And always remember to think freely